The snack that smiles back. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Talking to James channel. I don't know why I'm here, I don't know why you're here, but anyway, we're here, all together, all as one. So let's talk about the gameplay. The gameplay is something that we know very little about, especially from the only trailer that we got is the Flash and Burn trailer as of me recording this, and yeah, that's kind of about it, and even the trailer itself doesn't show very much. So let's go over the things that we know, that we don't know, and let's try and speculate a little bit. And so the first thing to go over is the open world. Obviously, we get the open world of Metropolis, so there's bound to be a lot of tall buildings. As we can see, there's a lot of structures that are different. Yeah, I remember one of the videos watching this even went over the fact of how visually distinct it all is, with certain buildings having curves, having bridges, randomly having certain elements that are just destroyed. This all leads Metropolis to feel like an open world. Now, obviously, we all know the open world is going to be good. This is Rocksteady that we're talking about, because Rocksteady made 3 good games in a row that have great open worlds. They also know not to oversell the size of the open world, because in Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, it's really not that big, and even Arkham Knight by the standards of today isn't really a huge open world. But the reason why it works is because of how much detail they put into each individual building, each individual frame, each additional structure for the characters to play on. It's basically trying to open the possibilities for the player as much as possible within the open world. And having 4 different characters that traverse in 4 different ways, that's a good thing. So obviously the next thing we need to speculate about is the side quest. Now, as we all know, Arkham Knight, Arkham City, both had side quests. Even Arkham Asylum, technically, with the Riddler side quest. It was only one, but a side quest nonetheless. But this means that there are probably side quests in this game. What those side quests will look like, we don't know for sure. Maybe it'll be an Arkham Origins situation where we have some boss fights in this side quest that we need to go. Like I was saying before I coughed myself to death, the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League side missions are probably going to have hidden boss fights throughout, so I expect some of the Justice League members that didn't show up in the main story will probably show up in the side quest. It's unclear how many side quests will be in this game, and even if there's going to be a Riddler Collectathon or not. We can only speculate what types of people are going to be in Metropolis. I wonder if we're going to have to fight heroes, villains, or both. That's the idea, because a lot of people don't tend to think about the side quests when we go into a video game, but I think it's an important detail to mention, is the fact of who are we going to be fighting exactly for the side quest. We know the side quests are the main quest, I believe, is Brainiac, obviously. That's the first one, and then obviously we're going to have boss fights centered around those single player experiences. However, what about the side quest? There's been nothing shown about each of the side quests, so I assume one of them is going to be taking down Brainiac's foes. I'm going to assume a couple of them are probably going to be collectibles of some point. And obviously we're going to have a point in time where we're probably going to have to fight a few C-list heroes that didn't make it into the main story, so they put them as a side quest. And then obviously we're going to have some villains that are probably up and about that the Waller wants us to take care of. That's all we can do for the side quests. That's all we can speculate. But the side quests are an interesting lot for this game. I wonder how it's going to turn out. Speaking of boss fights is a very special thing that we don't really know too much about. We know that Flash is fast. We know that Superman's strong, and that Batman's going to whip our ass. But we'll be prepared, and we will be able to take him on, believe it or not. So, saying all that, it's very tough to say what exactly the boss fights are going to look like, considering we haven't even had a look at a single boss fight throughout this whole trailers, so, which is kind of concerning, but we've seen a Flash in a tornado. That's kind of cool. I don't know how we'll fight that exactly. Do we just shoot the tornado? Do we just throw stuff at it and hope it dies? Like, how do we take care of that? So, I guess we must go after some of these boss fights to try and better understand what our situation is. So with the Flash boss fight, I assume we can't hit him unless we have to use some kind of device to lure him in. Like maybe we have to slow him down and then have to hit him, because I assume that boss fight is going to be tedious, because there's no way he can hit the Flash. It's impossible. At the speed that he's moving in the trailers, it's near impossible for even him to get a bullet landed on him. So there's probably going to be some other shenanigans that we're going to need to do in order to take him down. The next one to speculate on is Green Lantern. I assume he'll build walls and use his guns, and we'll probably have to stick behind cover and ended up shooting him quite a bit. So we're basically just gonna have to wait to like stun him or something, and then we can actually take him down from there. Similar to the Flash, but very different. But he'll probably end up using some of his weapons and arsenal. He's kind of a wild card because, you know, he can imagine whatever he wants and it'll become thin air. So his boss fight's very up for interpretation. The next one up is the Wonder Woman boss fight. I doubt that we're going to be fighting her, considering there has been no footage of her showing her Brainiac eyes. So I don't think that we'll be fighting her, but just in case, it'll probably function in the same way the Superman boss fight does, where she'll grab you with her whip, or she might attack you with her sword, or charge straight on forward. It's unclear whether this Wonder Woman can fly or not, because that's always been a point of contention for certain other Wonder Women, so... And obviously, one of the ones we're thinking about is Batman and Superman. Superman boss fight will probably be pretty simple. He can move fast, but I doubt that'll be the core of the fight, because that was similar to the Flash's fight. He'll probably rely on range, so we have to make sure we move around very quickly and shoot him from the sky, and that we don't stay in one place for too long. And then there's the Batman fight. I've been over the Batman fight before, but I think it's going to be a lot like the Predator boss fights, which is like you'll be in a room, it'll be all dark, and then you'll have to look out when he grabs you from gargoyles and other stuff. I guarantee people are probably going to like the Batman fight the most. I don't know why, but I think that's kind of the reason. I think the reason is that people have already played as Batman, so seeing that, you know, come back, it'll hit them with a wave of nostalgia, and then they'll go, oh, Batman's actually the best fight in the game. And it's like, well, okay, sure, buddy. But we'll just see how it is. So with all that speculation out of the way, we've talked about the side quests, the open world, and now the boss fights. These are kind of all the little things that we know. There's still some stuff worth talking about, like how the customization works, or if there even is customization, honestly, and seeing how it works. I hope that every character feels distinct. What I mean by that is, like, if you had two people play Captain Boomerang, I hope that each character is, like, each person playing the Captain Boomerang feels different and does something different, because that gives far more variety to what the game wants you to play. So yeah, I also hope that there's certain weapons in the game that can be used between all four characters, which there probably is, so we'll just have to see. Oh man, I just want this game now. With all that said, peace.